Yeah. Oh man.
I'm just try to. Okay. Oops. Okay. So here we are at this house on Ashland. Hi, neighbor. And we are doing a live boot camp today, and we're going to do a showing. So I wanted to kind of talk about the property. So first of all, I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. I'm going to sit over here. So what did you notice as you were driving up here? Anything you noticed? Were we close to schools, parks? Did you see anything we were coming up?
Middle school.
Middle school, okay. And how far do you think we are from a grocery store?
15 minutes.
Yep, exactly. And what other aspects did you see? Do you need any special steep roads? Yep. So can we imagine wintertime, maybe what it might be like? But did we see any signs that said that four-wheel drive was essential? No. So looking out at the property, what do you notice? Tell me what you notice.
We noticed that there was a septic tank, and we can see it on this.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be number one.
So yep, those standpipes right there tell you that there's the septic. So that is the first thing. Also, it looks like there's going to be a view here when you get upstairs, which is very nice. Do you see the neighbors? You see any neighbors?
Nope.
Nope. Right, but can you? Oh, but it's pretty private though, I would say, huh? So is there a fenced yard? You see a fenced yard? Yep, no fenced yard. All right. So let's.
Yeah.
Yep, you see a garden spot. So does anyone have central lock on their phone?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have someone open the door because I don't want to turn my Zoom off. So whoever would like. Oh, you've already got it unlocked. Okay. Does everyone know how to use central lock?
Yeah. Can I try it?
Yes, Tony. Yes, please.
Yep.
Yes, beautiful view here. Right here.
Okay, cool.
First, you have to find it. Sometimes people put it in weird places. Sometimes they put it on the gas pipe in the house.
Mine was on the side of the house attached to like the hose.
Yeah. People put it in odd spaces, and sometimes they don't tell you, and so you have to look around. So I always suggest that you come to a property at least 5 to 10 minutes ahead of time than your schedule. So you can open the door, turn the lights on, greet your client. That's always a really good idea. So Tony is going to show us how to use Lockbox. There we go. Thank you.
Oh, and they left business cards too.
Yeah, see, that's nice. So if you didn't bring the right listing and you need to call them and ask them a question, you can. So before we go inside, we have the key, but let's walk around what we can see of the deck real quick in the yard. It is a Trex deck. Good observation. And we think, what facing is this? What direction is this facing?
Southwest.
Yes. How do you know that? Lived here all your life. So where are the mountains typically in Alaska? Someone's way?
No.
Okay. So where are the mountains in Alaska? East. And where's the inlet? West. So there's the inlet. So does that tell us we're gonna have like sun here like all day long? Very sunny, nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Then we have a greenhouse out here, which is very, very nice. So yeah, so you always want to kind of look. And so there's power lines across the back of the property also. So there's probably an easement, telephone easement in the back there.
Might be a hiking trail there too.
Could be. Some people are sensitive to power poles. Some people don't care. So it's just something to kind of think about. And we got the chimney stack going up. Interesting. And we have a satellite dish. Okay. Anything else you guys notice out here that you'd want to think about?
There might be a lot of bears.
Asphalt shingle, bare. Yep. All right. So let's go inside and check it out. There's a lot of small decks here. Okay, so should you leave the key in the door when you come into a house? No, why? Someone could snatch it or someone could come in on you also, right? Probably not the safest thing to do. So you want to take the key, keep it with you, put it in your pocket, or just hold on to it. I put it in my pocket, so I typically do. You come on in. Typically, you would remove your shoes when you come into someone's house to keep the floor clean. So we'll go ahead and do that and make sure that we keep the floors clean for them. Yeah, that's so what would you typically tell your client when you start on a house hunting tour?
Wear slip-ons.
Wear slip-ons, yes. Wear your realtor shoes. So that's a good thing to always think about to tell. So the first thing, you're just kind of like looking at the general layout of the home. This is a log home, so it's very unique than other homes. You have a fireplace, and so is that a wood burning or is that a gas?
Yeah.
Yes. How do you know? There's a gas line. Very good. That's right. Not real logs. All right. Perfect. So we see huge windows here. Very nice. And the floor, would you say that this was a real floor, real wood, or do you think it's laminate? Not sure.
I think it's definitely real floor. It's not LVP.
Do you know a way where you can tell sometimes?
Drop something on it?
Nope.
Little individual knots. They're all
Some of the knots look pretty real.
unique.
Do you want me to teach you something real
Well, the
quick?
knots
Yeah.
are- the knots are filled in. You wouldn't have that on the floor.
Okay. Let me show you something, especially if it's a forced air property. Called the vent. You pull the vent and you can see that it is wood, right? Okay. If it's laminate, you can see the particle board and then a laminate edge at the top of that. So that's a trick you can usually use to see if it's real or not. Okay. So screen doors, very nice for summertime. Also, are there any other opening windows in this level of the home? Just the kitchen?
No, that's not open either.
No? So what does that mean for summertime?
Yeah.
But you have this, so you could always open this door. But does that one have, are you gonna get cross ventilation
No.
in here? No, but you have a fan.
But you have a fan, yeah.
You have a fan, that's nice. So little things that you can kind of think about and point out. Yeah,
You're gonna get, as soon as the sun hits there, you get all the rest of the sun for the day.
yeah, it'll be hot. That's wet. It's the inlet.
So we were just talking about the way, like I have horrible allergies, so having the doors open would not help anyway.
But what could you do? What could you add?
Yeah,
You could add, you have a forced air system, so you can actually add an air conditioning unit
Mhm.
that sits outside, that pumps, that attaches into your forced air system. Those are available. You can actually get them at Lowe's. Yep. So if you have someone that's the only thing they don't like about this house, there's your solution. What are these floors, you think? Yep, or like I think it's probably that luxury vinyl because it's soft. It feels rubbery. But it's not slate, but it looks very nice. Looks slate-ish. Yeah, and then we have the real wood in here. So What kind of things, what kind of countertops do we have in here?
Yeah.
Granite. And then we have, so what are some things that stand out here in the kitchen to you guys? Some stand out in the kitchen?
Nice new cabinets.
Are they self-closing, soft closing drawers? These are, you have a cookie tray here, which is very nice. It's a granite. But you can see the seam in the middle here, right here. So it's not a super thick granite because you can see the seam here, but that's fine. It's very nice. They do. Yep. So they have a thin piece on the top and then they add the edge here and underneath. Yep. And then this is a veneer, so like a brick veneer, which is kind of cool. So these are like really nice. I mean, they're well. So this is a nice feature to have the, this is the difference. So see, this is not the same as the backsplash isn't the same as the granite, but it's nice to have this as your windowsill. So if you put plants and things like that, it doesn't get ruined, where like wood's gonna wood stain and all that. Beautiful view.
Not a bad place to do dishes.
Not a bad place to do
I was
dishes.
gonna fit in here, Gina, because it's 3 acres. So I always like to be unique about your homes.
Mhm.
And for this one, I'm making a little flyer for Carla and Chris that definitely says 3 acres because
You wouldn't know that
you
just
wouldn't
standing
you
there.
wouldn't know
No.
that, and the
Mm-mm.
realtor doesn't point it out. And then they are out of some flyers, so I told them I think they're out of the sign flyers outside, and
Okay.
then they're out of these.
Yeah.
So just a little.
We're today, we're focusing more on the buyer aspect of it, but I totally agree with you. And in fact, what I like to do is I like to put special feature cards around a house everywhere to just point things out to give people a description of the home as they walk through. So let's look at here. So what kind of appliances do we have? So Super Silent Plus Bosch. So is Bosch one of those appliances that people seem to like that brand? Yeah, more higher end brand. Gas stove. Sometimes that's really important to people to have a gas stove. It's got the built-in microwave, can lighting. So let's look further.
Gina,
Yes,
this is about $800,000 house.
yes.
For that much of a house, this kitchen is kind of small. Wouldn't you say that?
Um,
People like kitchens. I mean, it seems like it's a small kitchen for this bigger, for that.
and that could be something that a buyer would want, a larger kitchen in this price point. It just depends on the buyer. Some buyers, they don't cook. They don't care. They just want this setting, and the kitchen's not important. So it really depends on the importance. But if you had a buyer who the kitchen was super important, this might not be the house for them. Yep, absolutely. So you have to look at every feature and think about your buyer and what they're looking for and what they're wanting. So we have a half bath here, which is nice to have a half bath on this level, right as you walk in. So if you're in gardening or you're outside doing work, you walk straight in on this floor into the restroom, which is kind of nice and convenient. You have closet space here, which is nice. And then, so what was your first impression of the carpet?
Dated, yeah, it needs to be taken.
Yeah, so that's probably something. And what if you were to recommend to your buyer, like, should you put in the same color carpet, or what would you suggest? Darker, lighter, same, lighter, white?
It's not the 1970s anymore.
Well, there's that.
It's more neutral. I think even the brick blacks backsplash back there is kind of a clash with the countertops. I think if they went with more like a gray, it would be maybe better.
Dark house already.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where I was getting at is it already feels dark with all the wood. You can help it by making your walls lighter and your flooring lighter. So, because people in Alaska, a lot of people in Alaska really tend to want more bright because we have such long winter days that are gray and dark. They want the inside of the house to be lighter. So, very, very good. You guys, exactly what I was looking for. So we have a loft here. And so this looks like this right here has like a barn door.
Yeah, that's cool.
That you could kind of close it off and be able to, make it more of a bedroom. Kind of an interesting way of doing it. It works. There we go. So kind of like very unique space. Would you say this was a legal bedroom?
No.
Why?
Just can't get the window.
Huh?
Window.
The window? What's wrong with the window?
Well, you can't get out and the firefighter can't get in very easy.
And you know this because that's right. So you're right. That is not a proper egress window for a fire. So this would not be considered a legal bedroom.
Also, there's no closet unless it's in the bathroom. I can't see.
There's one right here.
Oh, that is a closet.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's pretty small for a master.
Is that a bathroom?
so we have a restroom here. So we have shower made for shorter people, be perfectly fine for me. Not perfectly fine spot. Huh?
Jack and Jill bathroom.
Yeah.
Another bedroom.
This window is much larger, but I don't think there's a closet in here. Is there, unless it's over in the closet? Yep. Cute staging mark. Garage.
Oh yeah, I guess it is a garage.
Oh, yep. So we have a garage. Yep. Garage. 2-car garage.
Big, nice.
Yeah. And then this goes out to the backyard, which is also nice. Out to the backyard. And always lock, if you found a door locked and you opened it and you went out, make sure you lock it back when you close the door. Turn off the lights that were on. Always leave the house, the way that you found it. Unless you show up and doors to go outside are unlocked, I would always call the licensee and ask, do you want me to lock them? I found them unlocked, or leave them as I found them. Because maybe the last person left them unlocked and it wasn't intended. And so you always want to like ask those questions. So I'll let you guys that haven't seen the garage go ahead and step in. It's the garage, laundry. I already looked at that. So we have 2 bedrooms down here, or 1 bedroom. Is this 1 bedroom? 2 bedroom. Not a bedroom. No closet. Oh, there's a closet.
This one doesn't have the light fixtures.
Oh, yeah.
So for the upstairs, right,
Mhm.
with the window that doesn't have any egress and you can't,
Mhm.
do you put it in as a den, and then when the appraisals come in, because that was something that I was dealing with when I bought my fourplex, is there's a bedroom upstairs, there's a 3-bedroom. The 3rd bedroom is basically an office that they like some of the previous owner put in a closet, which then makes it a bedroom.
Right.
And I remember the realtor I went through, he's like, we'll put it down as 3 bedrooms. If the appraisal sees it, then the seller's gonna have to deal with that and make
Yes.
the windows bigger.
Yes.
Is that something that we would do, is basically list it as 3 bedrooms, or would we put, 2 bedrooms with a den?
No, 2 bedrooms with a den, if that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have another bedroom. Did everyone look at the bedrooms down here? So we have another bedroom down here. Little closet. Cute. So what would you say are some, so let's talk about some things about this house. What do you think are some features that buyers will like, and other ones that buyers will like, not so sure at this price?
Kind of funky. It has 4 small bedrooms, doesn't have a master bedroom.
Mhm.
Cool. I think that's not
Really low ceilings.
It's got plenty of space, but it's not.
You can tell it's Alaska built by the owner, that they designed it themselves. They didn't get advice from the architecture.
Yeah. And
We had a tough time figuring out which was the front door.
yeah,
Um,
the bigger deck, I would say, would be the front door. You know, it's usually kind of what you look for.
That's why I put the rug over there, but that
Yeah.
was, we didn't know which one to go into.
Yeah,
It is nice and private for somebody who wants privacy.
absolutely.
We were talking about the dark. Some people feel cozy with that. Others, like you say, it drives them nuts.
Exactly. So I think also when you're looking at this, you're looking at the price and you're looking at the features. The 3 acres, that's a huge
Yeah, that's-
piece of it. Land is a hot commodity around here. So a large bit of the value is probably in the land. But even with that being said, if someone had 2-acre lot, because at least an acre of this lot is not used, it's trees. So it's not like being used, for buildings or, yard or whatever. So if someone had an opportunity to find a 2-acre lot that was in the same price point, that had the same privacy, but had a master bedroom, do you think they would choose that over this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to kind of think about those things as well, especially when you're pricing a home, if you're the listing licensing. And also when you're doing market analysis for your buyer, because remember, you always do a market analysis for your buyer as well. So when they want to write an offer on a property, you're pulling up comps, you're looking at the other properties available, and you're helping them establish what they want to offer in the house. Why do you think that's important?
So you get value for their money.
Because what happens when they call you in 3 years to sell it? What do you want? What do you want to tell them 3 years from when you sold it to them, and then 3 years later they call you and say, "Hey, Terry, I'm ready to sell my house." What do you want to be able to tell them?
That they've got equity.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of equity.
That's appreciated.
Do you want to tell them, "Oh gosh, you paid too much 3 years ago, and now you got to write a check.
Like what's happening now, though. I mean, but I guess if you go into it as a buyer, knowing what you're going into, that's just what they need to know and make that decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you need to have that conversation with your buyers now, and you need to say, we're in a very different market and things may very well be overvalued. And I know your plan is to be here for 10 years, but life happens. And if you have to sell in 5 years, you might not be able to without writing a check, because it's going to cost you 7% of the sales price to sell it. That's a rule of thumb. So if it's a $500,000 house, they better have at least $35,000 in equity to be able to get out of it. And if they put VA 0 down, they've got to gain that 35,000 somehow in 5 years. And if the market doesn't increase, because the last 8 years before the last year and a half, we had a flat market. So there was really no increase. So they would, if that happened again, they would be writing a check for $35,000 or be forced to rent it or not be able to move when they wanted to move. So you always want to think the big picture when you're showing homes to your buyer and you're helping them find a home. Because remember, you want them to be your customer for life. You want them to call you when they sell it. You want to help them make the right decision now. So later on, you can sell it and they're still very excited about the purchase that you helped them with and felt like you did a really good job in telling them. And even if you tell them you are paying too much, I don't suggest that you be careful about going forward, because if you have to sell it early, this might affect you when you decide to sell it. And they say, I know. They call you 5 years from now. I already know I got to write a check. They're going to say that because you told them. And so just keep that in mind when you're working with buyers, that you make sure that you represent them all the way through and help them with that. Yes, Terry.
So would it be important,
Mhm.
you have this verbal conversation with them and then send them an email just to recap what I told you?
Absolutely.
Got a record of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And throw that in SkySlow, because most of the time you're going to go back and you're going to look at your information that you sold them before. You're going to pull the old documents out and, look at the old disclosure statement and as built and all those different things when you get ready to sell the home for them. And, but yes, it is good because, they'll forget what they said. They'll forget the market. But most of the time when you're in a feeding frenzy like now, they're not going to forget that this market was like this when they bought it, but they will forget the details of the conversation. So it's always good to reiterate that. Absolutely. And sometimes people just have to buy now and they know, and they're okay because they absolutely love the house. And that's just what they want to do. Or they have the extra money to do it and they're just going to go do it. And that's fine. It's their decision, always their decision. But you're just their advisor and you want to always give them the facts and then let them decide what to do. And no one has a crystal ball. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, how much property will go up or if it'll go down or what'll happen. But you just advise and give them facts and they make the decision. Any other questions? Was this really helpful going through a house, seeing different things? Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop my recording here. And
Now we know neighbors staging capabilities.
yes.